Yeah, Bimbola, I hope you don't mind me making you co-host because sometimes people, oh, you see somebody's trying to get in, but I didn't know. I'll make you co-host so when you see people and we are talking, you can help a brother out, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Is that okay? Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. If you don't mind me making you co-host because some all right, guys. We had an interesting day yesterday. For those who are watching on YouTube Live, this was the 28th of February, yesterday for us. Bimbala, I think somebody's trying to get in. So the president of Ukraine, Mr. Zelensky, was invited to the United States. Everybody could have that thing about what happened. I felt, they were trying to bring him to embarrass him. Uh, Now, he came, uh, you know, sometimes small people have a way of, having a smart mouth. Um, I think that there are a lot of things they teach us. And Mr. Yemi, you could help me on this. You see, when you go to do your training as a leadership course, Abimbola, help me out, please. Um, they teach you that as you are becoming a leader, you have to also consider that you are in a leadership role where you do not try to belittle the other person just because you're in a lead role. They teach you a lot of this. And you'll be getting anytime you need. So what happened, nobody was right. I'll be honest with you, because the White House has been a place where we believe other countries coming to learn. Other countries want to be um it's to set the path for forward movement, right? Anyway, unfortunately, two people came in that are, very aggressive people because enough of the BS going on in the United States. We want to be able, Abimbola, please help me out, please, bro. We want to be, the strongest nation because we have a lot of competitors. In that process, we have to save a lot of money. I agree on that 100%. We also have to make sure that we are mindful of a few things, but we have to do things the right way, from immigration to trade deals we have, right? And because of that, we all know that some things might be done differently. Anyway, my take was that I feel both of them are wrong. And if I am wrong, I would like Mr. Yemi to tell me what he feels about what happened. Now, if instead of we feel, instead of trying to dodge the question, you probably just don't answer. Let's be as truthful as possible. So, Yemi, what was your take on what happened yesterday?
And people are so invested into semantics. Where were this passion the last 4 years when this war, unnecessary war was going on? The whole thing about this, I felt about this. This was a long time coming.
Oh yeah.
Long time coming, and people always talk about decorum and all this stuff. I don't want to give a history lesson about the American United States government and all this stuff. But a few years ago, we just had, was it cocaine in the White House? I'm just saying, and we had many laws we could say that punitively affected people signed in the White House, over the years. I'm just being historical. So people say
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff, man. The whole point about this is that, all this, if this guy if he didn't agree with this, he has no leverage in this situation. He, you know, would have been we should have just stayed in where he's going on. I just got a notification. This guy is probably going to get impeached and kicked out of office in his country. That's what's going on right now in Ukraine.
Really?
Someone could research this. They're having an emergency meeting right now. So we don't even know he's going to be president, for so long. I'm just saying anything I say, I'm always open to be fact checked. But this is what I just got a notification. This is what,
Can you send it to us or send it to me, please? Yeah. Go ahead.
My guy, anyone can do Google and put Ukraine as.
Sorry.
So, so it's not like I'm sending you biased information. I like people doing their own research. The whole point is this, this guy has been coming into the Oval Office and to the Congress and all this stuff with all of this arrogance. The whole thing, my parents, the way we raised us, like a beggar has no choice. Not calling a beggar, but the whole thing, without the U.S. intervention of giving all this money over the past few years, without no accountability, we all know Ukraine wouldn't haven't lasted in this war. We all know this. So you have to have some sense of humility. You have to have some sense of humility. So coming there and saying all those kind of things, I know people feel emotional about Trump and all that stuff. People need to go get a therapist. I live in the land of reality.
Yeah.
I was one of those people that, hey, in 2004, when, if my calculation and memory is good, when Bush had that war in Iraq, or started that war in Iraq, I remember where I was when Colin Powell gave that briefing to the United Nations. I was sitting in front of my TV or whatever at the time in the apartment watching this thing.
Yeah.
Like this war, I wasn't an anti-war person, but I'm like, this war, it has human cost. These wars are not fun. People die. People lose. There was this lady, I researched her a few years ago, I think sometime last year, that she was all in the president's face and all that. So she lost her son in the war. This is, people's children. Nobody knows what it means to lose a child, especially for an unjust war, a war that could have been prevented. So all these things have costs.
So I'll ask you.
So moving back to the current situation is that Russia could do a stalemate for however how long. Ukraine can't. Ukraine can't. Billions and billions of dollars, and they just said that all that money. He even said it, so it's not like I'm saying it. Zelensky said it. Most of that money didn't even make it to the war, to the what it was meant for.
Yeah.
So, how long can they stand? Russia can stay. They don't even have, because what they're saying is a meat grinder in Ukraine. People that, because all the specialized real soldiers have died, most of them. So now you're getting people that have been trained.
Half trained.
People that are a painter, they give them a few courses of, hey, this and this, they put them to the war. That's what's going on. So when you come to ask for something, if this deal wasn't sufficient for him, he should have not got on that plane. And all these kind of negotiations should have happened behind the scenes. He shouldn't have gotten a plane, because all this was supposed to be meant to be, but he tried to out-Trump Trump. And you can't do that. You can't embarrass the president, especially someone like Trump, in public, or attempt to do it. Or any president with any sense. All this, if anything didn't agree, he should have never got on the plane to come to the United States to sign that agreement. If it was something, this is something they should have done the back channels, not try to do this thing in front of the press.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way of doing it, and I think if you know a lot of things that has happened in the Oval Office, that's not even half of some of the crazy things that happened, but the press didn't see it. You remember when they had the this guy who unalived a lot of people by cutting them. They used to call him the I'm forgetting this guy's name. Remember that guy who was famous for you know unaliving people? I mean, in I think Iraq, he sent them during Obama's term. There used to be some serious shouting match about parents, American parents who were having their kids, taken away, and but the press didn't see that because that was so sensitive. I think they should have done the same thing here. Trump had the power to let the press out, but he wanted,
No, well, the whole
to,
thing
to
that
embarrass the guy.
no,
Don't
not
do you feel
no,
that? Because he was really embarrassed. You and
no,
I know
no,
that.
no, 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 no. The whole thing about it, they had a lot of conversations before this. They didn't
Mhm.
ask the guy. They tried to. It was even JD Vance and him. Then Trump got in there. Then he started saying things that like America owes him. The entitlement of Zelensky was anyone who watched that meeting. I know people feel all emotional about Trump.
Yeah,
I'll tell them, the next 4 years, good luck to you, man, or your mental health. You know, but the whole point is that I always see things from, a neutral point of view,
yeah,
much
yeah,
as I can. The whole thing about it is that you can't come to America and tell him like, oh, if you don't help him, we're gonna suffer. That's an insult. The guy was so arrogant.
yeah. He said it was going to come back to us somewhere or the other, meaning let's say if Russia took power and all that. But okay, let me ask you, Mr. Ayo, then Patrick. Mr. Ayo, this can happen. I know that, we have repeated cases of stuff like this happening. Um, Unfortunately, I feel like this may lead to Ukraine being just ignored by this administration. So my question is,
Emeka, I don't make statements like that. If you're asking a question, you have to ask the question from a neutral
oh,
point.
okay,
Even though you're leading in the question on.
okay. So my question to you, Ayo, is, how do you see what happened, and what do you think Putin is thinking now? Because um, everybody has seen it, and the former president of Ukraine, of Russia, was saying something about calling him a pig and all that nonsense. I'm like, okay, what do you think happened? What do you see here? What's your take? Ayo, this is for you. Twice impeached felon. Ayo, you're on mute, man. Okay, well, Patrick,
Next person then.
I'll let. Can you hear me now? Ayo, are you there?
Go to the next person.
Okay, Patrick. So what did you see, and what's your take on what happened? You're mute. You're mute, brother. You're still on mute. You're on mute. Mm, I think something happened. Like I see you talking, but you're still on mute, brother. Like you haven't unmuted your. You might see the.
Can you unmute him from your side?
No. Let me see if I could ask him. Okay, let me try and ask to unmute him. Okay, try. There
Okay,
you
that's
go.
better.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sure. What did
Yeah,
you see?
what's happening to the app is just let you out. Tapping on it's not doing well.
It's fine. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, I want to say thank you very much for calling. This meeting is always a good thing to bear your mind, and it's also a good discourse to learn. We learn every day.
Yes.
The only day you stop learning is when you die. My take on this thing, I'm not speaking from an expert point of view, though, but I'm just speaking from an ordinary layman observation point right now. It was a disgrace to American democracy, to American standard generally. I quite agree with Yemi that before any kind of deal or public signing of deals of this nature, there should have been a conclusion at the background. But here also, I beg to differ that the press was at the instance of Donald Trump.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, all right. I'll give you a chance. I beg, no vex.
Okay. Like I said, I'm not speaking as an expert, but this is my own observation. If Trump didn't want the press there, they will not be there. That is one thing for sure. I believe Trump was trying to make a statement of having put a very fantastic deal for America. That Zelensky was feisty, that is fine, but it was also, there is what we call, at this level of negotiation, there should be a high level of diplomacy. For crying out loud, Zelensky is the president of a nation. He should not be brought to a negotiation table in the Oval Office and be drilled down like a kid. That is, I do not agree with that. To me, I think that was bully tactics. Despite the fact here, yes, America is helping Zelensky, doesn't have much card to pull, but you're not supposed to throw that on his face. There should be some respect and decorum when it comes to negotiations at this level. So to me, it was a colossal disgrace to America. And it paints us in very bad light to the rest of the world.
All right, well, okay. That's but again, when we say this, yes, disgrace, no disgrace. What are we moving forward? What's going on? FBO, go ahead, bro. What do you think?
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thanks very much.
Yeah.
Just wanted to share some things that I am clarification. One, the deal had been agreed. The Secretary for Finance also was in Ukraine for a week. If you see, he had an interview and he said it clearly. He said the deal had been agreed. You know, they had agreed the deal. That's why he came. Two, the deal was agreed. It wasn't that they were going to sign the deal. It was an agreed deal. He came for his signing. Now, it's standard practice when you are in the White Oval Office. The press is always there. Check Macron, check Starmer of UK, check Jordan when he came there. The first thing they do, they have a chart. They just do a chart. So it's standard. It wasn't it wasn't Trump that asked for that. He didn't ask for that. It's a standard practice. You saw recently Macron was around, the Prime Minister of UK was around, and they did that. The question here is this. The deal had been agreed. They were supposed to have a small meet the press. After that, they have lunch, then they sign. That was what was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people watched the whole 50 minutes. I had to take time to watch it. Initially, things were going very well. The first 40 minutes was going very well. There wasn't any issue at all. They were just bantering the next 40 minutes. Things went pear-shaped due to one, Zelensky. And I repeat it. I mean, you don't come, listen, negotiation 101. You know who you are negotiating with. That's as simple as that. One, you are the one that wants something. You don't come with the wrong attitude. You don't do that. And I say that. If you go and watch that video again, what turned this on his head was the statement Zelensky made. When he said that, I think Trump said something that he said that it will soon come to you and to affect you negatively. I just say, you don't say that about us. You don't tell us what's going to affect us negatively. That's when it went off. And if you had asked me at that time, if you knew what you wanted, you need this country to help you. You calm down. Listen, I can't imagine somebody that I'm doing something for. You come and make a request of me, and you come with the wrong attitude. I'll walk you out. I will walk you out. So I don't think it was the bullying tactics. I think Zelensky has been used to going around the whole world and giving standing ovation, and
He has.
I think that's what happened to him. That's
Yeah.
what happened to him. Number two, and finally, as I round this up, listen, you campaigned for the Democratic Party. You campaign for them. If you have any emotional intelligence, you should know that, hey, you need to manage these guys. You campaign for them. You didn't want them to win. You now come into the place and you're strutting in, trying to make demands of them. I mean, that's totally wrong. Totally wrong. So for me, I keep hearing people say bully. It's no bullying. Trump campaigned on the fact that it was going to be tough on Ukraine. That was his campaign. Zelensky knew that. That's why he campaigned against them. And you're coming for a meeting. You should manage your expectation. You know that you're coming to the lion's den. You need to change your mindset. You know, you don't come.
Guy is not your friend, really. He's not your friend. So respect yourself.
Yes, they don't owe you nothing. You're a poor country that needs me. You don't come and pose for me there. That's my opinion. That's my stand on it.
Thank you. Yemi, thank you so much, bro. Yemi, before you say something, let me ask Hafiz. Hafiz, bro, do you think Zelensky should resign?
I don't think Zelensky should resign. I think he needs to stop being a diva, go face his war, and stop crying like a little bitch on TV. That's what I think. Because he's always crying like a little girl, and he was a comedian and actor, so he's very good at putting up a show.
He's still acting.
Come on, man. Are you bringing the actor stuff out? Come on, man.
No. It's like
serious,
he's a Nollywood actor or Bollywood actor, whatever you want to do. And he came up there with cameras. He knew what to do exactly. And then guess what? All the liberals take it and run with it. Oh, this guy is awesome. Like you can't like this man just said. You got to have some sort of emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Like you've talked so much smack about Russia, Trump, all these people, and you're coming in here for help. And guess what? We're still helping them. The United States is still helping these people.
Yeah.
But you want to come on TV and act like a kid, and then tell you America is going to feel it. Now you and your own people go feel it. You and your own people now they suffer now.
That's what
America go feel.
He said, America will feel it. Trump said, what are you saying? You don't have a right to. How can you come to me as Pomoni and be telling me that in the Oval Office? It's disrespectful. Third-rate country.
Yeah, he shouldn't have. Look, if you watch even Macron, that guy has a very sharp mouth, but he was careful.
He calmed down.
Yeah, you saw how he touched Trump to say his stuff.
He calmed down. UK,
and that
UK
one
guy
is not even in a war.
UK guy too. He calmed down. He brought a letter. He brought a letter from King that is a great honor. Trump calm. You have to use. That's what. Understand who you are going to negotiate with. Negotiation 101. He failed.
Hey, Mecca, if you want to go negotiate land deal, you go tell the man, say, I'm going to pay you money, and you're going to take it because I'm paying you money. No, you're always going to look for a motivation. You're going to find a middle ground so you can get the best deal out of get the best deal.
Okay, well, so Yemi, same question. Do you think Zelensky should resign?
Well, like I just said, the people of Ukraine will handle that. But one thing is that people always jump into emotions. My own thing is that you can hate Zelensky, you can hate Trump, you can hate Putin, you can hate whatever. But let's be factual here. First of all, Zelensky is a dictator. There's no denying about that. We talk about him getting all this, data, this and this and this. This guy banned his elections in his country, imprisoned bishops in his country, canceled newspapers in his country. So people say defender of democracy. Let's be honest, man. As Nigerians, I think most of us here are Nigerians. We're not going to accept this in our own country. Even in war, even in wartime in America, in the Civil War over here, there were still elections here. Abraham Lincoln got reelected, during the Civil War.
Roosevelt got reelected during the Second World War.
Well, we could say the Second World War was far away. We're talking about Civil War was directly in American grounds, So the whole thing about it is that this guy, you're like all these things should be behind this. Everybody's saying the press and all this kind of stuff. If Trump's chased away the press, the same people talking about, oh, you don't want transparency. That's what you're saying. Let all these things be in the open. Because if Trump says all this about Zelensky tomorrow, people will say, oh, he's lying and all this. Let us see what's going on. Because so people that are saying all these things, that claim democracy and everything, you don't want to see what's going on. If he wants to act like this in private, No, let's see it in public. Because if it doesn't have that control,
Okay,
the
okay,
president.
yeah, okay, but if you say this, right, are we now in the era of saying it's okay? This is for Sylvester. Sylvester, this is for you. Are we now saying it's okay to almost cozy up to Russia, or are they still our adversary?
Thank you, Mecca. I'm late to the party, so I'll be careful. I'll speak
Yeah.
little because I don't know
Don't worry. There's nobody will
the
eat your
ground you guys have laid. But you know, when I
Please speak your
listened
mind.
to
Yeah.
when I listened to Zelensky and Trump, I don't care whether well, I still want America to win. This is where I live.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
if I were to be a staff in either of those presidents' regime, I would be a little embarrassed. I would feel like we are not doing a good job in terms of helping these leaders shepherd their conversations. One of the wisest things a leader can do, especially a political leader, is not to let everything that runs through your heart to run through your mouth and tongue. But that being said, there's something I felt that, man, this war in Ukraine is World War II all over again. It's just America trying to share the resources of Ukraine, America and Russia. Because, you know, when World War II ended, what was the biggest race? People thought, oh, the biggest race was this, that. Nothing. It was the race for the scientists who designed the nuclear weapons. It was about the intellectual property of Germany. And that's why reaching Berlin was so important for both the Allies and the Red Army. That being said, right now, this thing is boiling down to the minerals in Ukraine. And Zelensky, if he's wise as he thinks he is, he should be very careful because just like Germany became the sacrificial lamb of World War II, in this war,
Yeah.
the winners will only be America and Russia if he's not careful and get Europe to help him. And because Russia is also unhappy about its pipeline being blown and not selling a lot of energy to Western Europe. So if Trump can make a deal with them that, hey, you don't mess with my ideas, I don't mess with your ideas, you take a percentage of the minerals, I take a percentage of the minerals, they are going to agree. And I think if Russia and the US agree and you're somewhere in the middle, guess what? You just get crushed.
Yeah,
So
you're out. You're out.
this
Yeah.
thing is not about policy or ideology. This thing is about resources, as far as I'm concerned. In fact, when I saw those passions, I was like, wow, this is again just about sharing the spoils of war. So this thing where people say that America does not cozy up to Russia or Russia doesn't cozy up to America, that is usually for the public gallery. Can anybody say here with a straight face that there is any point in history when Russia and America was so tense that they were not communicating and they didn't have back channels for communication?
Correct.
I would
They
say
always did. Always did.
emphatically is a
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, even in
Because
space,
even
space.
the
Yeah.
that's where I was coming to,
Yeah.
Emeka. Thank you for bringing that one up.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to cosmonauts and the astronauts, they still share resources in space research. Yeah. Even the other day, Americans ran out of urine. Guess who gave them urine to manufacture water in space? It was those cosmonauts. So this whole idea of somebody telling you there's no cozy part or whatever, it's just for the public gallery. In the grand scale of things, there's always cooperation. So I think Zelensky should do what is good for Ukrainians because Trump has to do what is good for America and
Yeah.
Americans. It's just good leadership. So whichever way you look at it, we are going to have to find a way to live with the outcome, and Zelensky is going to find a way to get the best outcome for his people. Trump will have to get the best outcome for his people. So that's how I feel. Okay,
Quick one.
that's all I want to put in.
Emeka, can I say something quickly?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Then after you,
I mean, yeah,
Tosin was up first. Let Tosin go.
Okay, Tosin,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead. Tosin, go ahead.
Tosin had his hand.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, thank you so much. I just have few questions, right? My first questions, Zelensky, right? Does he understand English properly? Because I don't feel strongly that Ukraine speak pure English. Language can be a barrier. So that's why I'm asking the question. At times the way you say certain things, people may interpret
May come out disrespectful. Okay.
An issue. It's a non-question. They have translators, so it's not an issue.
But you see, Russia will not speak English. Russia will only get that translator to be sure they don't jump into that trap of saying something the wrong way or it being perceived the wrong way. But okay, go ahead, Tosin, go ahead.
Yeah, because the guy was speaking in English, right? So probably there are some usage of words, right? He may not understand perfectly. The next question.
That's his problem. He should have prepared, but go ahead.
Okay, the next question is just the body language too. Adin Bin is Israel president that came in, right? Being rude, right? Definitely the tempo, right, within is not going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Definitely Trump is going to tell us towards Putin, right? Because they are friends. Now, if you look at it deeply, somebody is coming from the angle of being pain. His people has been killed, right? And is going through emotional traumas here and there. You can't expect him, in my own word, right?
Right.
To act perfectly. You understand? Because his people has been killed, right? And you are asking him that, you are not being appreciating what that have done by president here and there. You understand it? Because he's coming from angle of being pain, that you understand my pain. And this is exactly it. He was saying that they have already signed certain agreement for previous ceasefire that Putin broke those agreements. So what do you expect? The next one is being signed, right? Definitely is going to break it, right? It's coming from the angle of his people being killed, right? So we should not expect him that, you don't have respect. We are talking about people dying here, right?
Look, people are dying there. All those countries that came to see Trump, people are dying over there. I'll tell you this, Ayo, honestly speaking, I think maybe Zelensky should have given this thing to somebody else to handle in his cabinet, right? Because the guy has had a one-on-one problem with Trump, and Trump is a statement. You can't, if you're gonna work with the guy, you have to choose your battles. He's the last dude you want to battle with. Everybody knows, all of us here obviously know that. So if I'm going into a place where I know that we haven't seen eye to eye, don't you think he should have brought somebody else to help this, or
let me quickly, before moving to that, right?
Go ahead.
Now, me, I feel strongly, right? It's very disrespectful of JD, right? To took him on, right? And it's JD that caused all this fracas between him and Trump.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Look,
can I say something?
Yeah. Can you touch on JD also, because you and I know, we all know,
I want to talk about
his part.
Yeah.
Go ahead. JD is the Vice President of the United States of America.
Yeah,
I
know, but can we just
let's FBO.
No, I think we are so used to a docile VP in Kamala that campaigned and then they show up for 4 years.
Oh, Mike Pence.
Okay. So now we have a VP that's working, and we think he's overstepping boundaries.
No, we are talking about, right? We are talking about two countries involved now.
Yeah, right? But Ukraine ain't the United States. Ukraine ain't the United States.
Okay, let's turn it this way. I didn't mean Zelensky came in with his VP talking to Trump that way.
Do it now.
What would have been the reaction?
Well, country now.
Zelensky showed up like a car washer.
It cannot happen like that.
You are the one begging for money now.
Yeah.
For the fact that you are a beggar, right? It doesn't mean that you don't have your sense. You don't know.
Then stay in your house.
Yeah,
beggars don't choose. Beggars don't choose.
I understand what you are saying, but on this level, where America is using their funds and not
That's
getting
the thing.
in return. I beg, wait, Toshin, hold it right there. Ayo, go ahead.
Okay, quick one. Thanks, Emeka. Let me say two things really. One, and if you read the backstory to all this, you're right. I've been tossing. They had don't forget that Zelensky met with Rubio and the vice president in Munich. And from the story we heard, that was not a good meeting at all. That was a shouting match. It was all on this negotiation too. So I believe that that also conditioned this meeting. Of course, Trump would have gotten all that feedback. The Secretary for Finance that went to negotiate in Kiev said to himself that him and Zelensky had a 45-minute shouting match. So I'm sure all this information got to Trump. And that's why you could probably feel that this guy felt that this guy is not grateful, you know. But going back to Russia and America, listen. America's strategic interest here is also to decouple Russia and China.
Yes.
America wants to decouple Russia and China. Simple. So if Zelensky doesn't have the common sense to see that, then he's a joker.
Yeah.
In the bigger game that is being played, America cannot afford for Russia and China to continue being together.
Yeah.
Europe is not coming to the party. Listen, Europe is a dead continent.
Yeah.
Europe is a dead continent. They're struggling with immigration. They can't even face immigration. They're a dead continent. What is holding everybody back is America alone. It's not, America alone cannot do it. Europe is not pulling their weight. So for America, Trump knows you can't allow China and Russia to become one. You can't allow it. Why do you think that one of the first presidents after Netanyahu to come to the White House was India? Why was it India?
Smart move.
It was India.
Yeah.
He didn't call anybody in Europe. He doesn't care about Europe. These guys are not serious. Israel, after Israel, India, Modi. Because he wants to tie America to, you can't afford to lose India. Yeah. If you lose India to that circle, you are gone. So, gentlemen, this is a bigger stake. If Zelensky doesn't know that, he's a baby. If he doesn't understand that, he's a baby. You don't come to your patron, somebody's helping your country with the wrong attitude. You don't do that. If you do that, you don't read the room, they kick you out, and that's what happened. Thank you, guys.
Yemi, can I have Sumi say something real quick?
Okay, what I would like to say is I just believe it's a game of politics because that's it. But what I hate is how they sidetrack him. It was more like it's so disrespectful. He was trying to make a point. He was asking a question. And the vice president knew that question was valid. So he had to just use the word disrespect. We're going to help you. We're going to do that. Yeah, we know you're going to help him. But there's need. He is the president of a country. He doesn't need to be treated like a baby. He doesn't, and he knows. He also knows the game. He knows what Trump is trying to do. And he knows how the relationship with the Russian people is with them. And he knew that Trump is all about the gain, all about the game. So for me, I will not say because you're going to help me, then you have to disrespect me. That is what I see in all of those things. And it is not right. If you're going to help a country, and what Tosin said the other time, like, the emotions is different. The state of mind is different. So that's what we have to look at. You know, people have different feeling about things. Right. So you don't have to bring somebody and sabotage. This is not about sabotage for me, and I think it's not right. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you, my sister. Okay, so
can I say something?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Sylvester.
I want to spin the direction of this thinking about help and all this thing we are talking about. And my question to everyone here is this: is there any time in history that one country has genuinely helped another country? All these things about US helping Ukraine is nonsense. Yeah. America is not helping Ukraine. America is helping its own arm manufacturers and dealers. If you give Ukraine $1 billion, 800 million stays here to pay the suppliers. Yeah. So let's face it. America needs Ukraine as much as Ukraine needs America. So this thing is about interest. So when these people talk at that level, I don't care what position you take. I care how you deliver your position. The interaction was disrespectful and, in my opinion, very unpresidential. And if Trump wanted to go head to head with Zelensky like that, if I were Trump, and I would never be like him anyway, I'm not a politician, I cannot have J.D. Vance in the House. You need a vice president who pours water in the fire, not oil and grease and fans it. I think it was wrong.
Yeah.
The approach wasn't right.
Yeah, I mean, and again, yeah, we need to watch the whole video because I saw it going well until there was a wrench thrown in when JD said something. But Yemi, go ahead.
We always we always say all these things about presidential and all this nonsense. When presidents do things that adversely affect people, how presidential is that? We have Western presidents that literally, I'm not going to mention his name, that went to Africa and started dictating to them. They had to be schooled by the Kenyan president.
Oh, man.
You know, we don't say all this stuff. When Macron goes to Africa and tells them, disrespects African leaders, we don't say all this stuff. So let's call all this stuff, man. We need to be have all this emotional stuff. Zelensky doesn't afford the people in Ukraine the respect you demand from foreigners. Like I said, anyone can go Google the human rights abuse in Ukraine. Anyone can, even LGBT. Supporters LGBT can even go and Google LGBT abuse in Ukraine. Let's stop all this stuff, man. You can't come. No, let me finish my point. You can't come to my house and insult me. I'm gonna kick you out. That's what happened yesterday.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you see, that is why, it's important to hear your voice because, you've been in politics for a long time and some of us mistakenly use emotions to cloud our normal thinking, right? And that's where you come in. Hafiz does his own, but he's, anyway. So, but
he's what?
We need, I'm coming now, Hafiz. So we need people to don't be too emotional, but think about it. Okay, so this is the question I have going on. This should be for Hafiz and Joe.
So Lamborghini
Joe, bro, what is the final, you know what? This will be for everybody. What is the final stake for Ukraine? Because they cannot win Russia. I'll tell you that. What do you think is going to happen? What's the end goal for Ukraine? What's going to happen? Because I don't know if this peace deal is going to happen.
Well, the end goal is going to be, like I said, all this stuff is still developing. Because people saying all this, you got to hear what the ambassador to Ukraine said after the meeting. Then he went on Fox News and even started saying more horrible things. You got to have some sense of, I know people have emotional and all that stuff about Trump. Everybody's entitled to that.
No emotions here.
No, I'm just saying, everybody, some people, when it comes to Trump, they are, I don't know which word, I'm trying to be politically correct. Well, just some sense,
always negative.
Well, I'll just say some common sense just goes out of the window.
Yeah,
true.
But one thing is that we have to be practical in these things, is that Ukraine needs Americans' help. Like I said, developments going on, which I just saw right now. I don't know if this guy will be president any much longer, but we'll see what happens there. But for the past few years, America has been coming and helping this country.
Yes.
All this should have been handled, which they try to do behind the scenes. I don't know, people are saying all these things, that if this war continues to go on, the previous administration's policy was not going to go anywhere. It would have eventually led to Americans, going to Ukraine and dying for what?
Oh, yeah.
All this, to me, because they sent the former vice president there to end this conflict. This should have been prevented from the get-go. People have died for nothing. All emotions, respect, all those things. People can say all this from the comfort of their home. People have died for nothing.
Hold on. Let's hear from Joe. Joe, what do you think the end goal is here from what you see? Because
Hey, man. First of all, I'm enjoying the conversation, eh? And I know I'm not a sympathizer of Trump, eh? So
Yeah.
don't expect me to say anything nice about him.
That's fine, bro. Go ahead.
But definitely, we're talking about a guy who has seen his people die. Yeah, maybe he has nothing to lose. You know, this is just another day for him in office. But he may just do dirty until whoever comes to rescue him comes to rescue him. But I don't know whether America is set up for that, because the interest is definitely they want to go to the bank and get some money. You know, they'll put so much money in Ukraine.
Of course.
And then, you know, the taxpayer is like, why are we sending all this money to Ukraine? For what? You know, so Trump is going to play hardball. He's going to try to make as much money as he can, if possible. If not, so Trump doesn't care too. If people are dying on the other side of the world, it is what it is. So I don't know. Let me just sit down and enjoy the rest of the show.
Enjoy the okay. Hey, okay. So, Patrick, what's your take on it? You're on mute. Okay. Are we back to that issue again? Hold on.
Patrick's still in Valentine's mode.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you, bro. Don't mind Hafiz. Go ahead.
Very, very interesting discourse, I must say. To be honest with you, based on everything, it is unfortunate, but the war is over. Ukraine has lost.
They had lost from day one, but go ahead.
One thing I agree, because it breaks my heart to see that after coming this far, they're still going to go back.
Losers.
They don't just go back to losers. They still go back to status quo, even less than they started with all the devastation that has happened. But nevertheless, I still maintain that when it comes to bilateral negotiations, like what should have happened in US and Ukraine,
yeah,
I think the Trump administration could have handled that negotiation a lot better. This is my thing.
Yeah.
Yes, Zelensky is an actor, he's going around the world, he could have said so many things. And the truth is, he who wears the shoes knows where he pinches most.
Yes, yes, yes.
His emotional status, we cannot tell. Yes, we know as leaders, you have to be on top of things at all times. But, and I keep hearing my dear brother Yemi is always saying, emotions. We only try to put our emotions at the back burner. It is never completely gone. That is what makes us human beings.
True.
You cannot continually say, oh, you must get this. If you, the fact that if I'm dealing with A, the emotions I will use for A is different from B. At B might seem like I'm not emotional, but at the end of it all, I remain a human being. You see a despot, a serial killer that kills without even thinking. But something as much as an ant bites its son, it will become like a wimp.
Yeah.
That is his level of emotion. That's where his emotion is. So the fact here is that, yes, in as much as we want to divulge emotions from these things, we cannot completely eradicate it. I think that if your child, if a little boy is acting in a very disorderly manner, you as the big brother, the bigger mind, that's what makes you superior to him, is how to put that tension under control so that both of you will not end up rubbing yourselves on the mud.
Yeah, well, yes, that's very true. But because of the historical nature of the relationship with Trump and Zelensky, we all know that's why this is happening, right?
Yes.
Because they didn't treat, you and I know, they didn't treat Putin this way. Because those ones know how to do business. They don't play with emotions. They say their own and keep moving. If you don't want it, let's meet on the battlefield. And that's why Zelensky was saying, You haven't fought with this guy before. These guys are, look, gladiators. They don't play.
Ruthless.
Yeah, you know, they don't play. Okay.
I can't stand you saying inaccurate stuff. America has been fighting the Cold War. What have you been saying? America fought Afghanistan in
I'm
Russia.
saying what Zelensky said. Yeah, you are not fighting. I just said.
I'm just saying, just don't give inaccurate information. America has been fighting.
We're just fact checking
Russians
you,
for the
Emeka.
longest.
Fact checking.
Right. Okay.
Well,
Okay. Fine.
Sorry. Cold
Chris.
War. Cold
Yeah.
War is not a real war. It's a psychological war.
No.
Yeah, me wait.
No.
You're going off track.
No. Let me say my own piece.
Please.
No. Yeah,
Chris.
we know that it is wrong for you to say that. Yeah, we know that this is a Trump thing. We know that this is
It's
Trump
not about Trump. I'm
administration
giving you
thing.
historical.
We know. Stop saying that Trump is a ruthless man. We know that. He would not do
You
this.
can move to Russia, please.
No. This is not about moving to Russia. This is about saying the right thing.
Let me say what I want to say.
No, but
Okay.
right to you does not mean right to
hold
everyone.
on.
How many people has Trump killed?
Okay, wait.
How many people has Trump killed?
America,
I don't know.
Quorum. Let me say something.
How many people has Trump killed?
No,
wait, you Hafiz.
something. Let me say.
Yeah.
People say the Cold War is psychological. You guys, Cold War was wars fought in many countries. It wasn't a direct war.
One-on-one, yeah, correct.
But it was many countries and involved a lot of countries in Africa. We can go to Congo, we could go to Vietnam.
You're right.
A lot of wars, you know, you could even go to South Africa, we can even go to Namibia. So a lot of places that they were fighting on separate sides, you know. So it's not a psychological war. People actually died in the Cold War.
That's why USAID was necessary, but continue.
Nah,
I don't agree with you. Right? It's all about political and economic war.
Yeah.
And US to win
Mandela about
democracy. Right?
Okay, hold on. Let me do a mic check with Chris.
Can I say something?
Sunni, wait. Chris, can you do a mic check? Chris. You're on mute, though. Chris, okay, well, I guess you probably
no. I'm just listening in. It's interesting. Okay. I want to listen to everyone's perspective.
Okay. Do you want to say anything?
Right now, I mean, it's not that what Trump was trying to say necessarily to Zelensky was wrong. My big thing is how the whole thing was handled. You know, rightly, as a president of one of the most powerful countries in the world, there's a way it could have been handled. Yeah, the most powerful, you say. Yeah. There's a way it could have been handled better. This guy's first language is not English. You know, you have to take that into consideration. He's trying to put across a point, and I think they should have listened to him. Okay, you're saying you're giving 350 billion to Ukraine. You're not just giving 350 billion if you don't have interest in the country. There are other countries that are killing each other, and nobody's even, you know.
America is benefiting from that money too for ammunition. Don't forget.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, so at the end of the day, everybody has something to gain from this whole thing. The sad thing for me is the innocent lives that are suffering, the children. Yeah. You know, the innocent lives that are being shortchanged. Affected. That is sad for me to see.
You know what kills me?
You
know what kills me? I want to interject here. What kills me is that we are just hypocrite. We want to talk about all these innocent lives being killed in freaking Ukraine, but I don't hear no Nigerians, no Africans talk about Gaza. Nobody talks about it. Everybody want to talk about Ukraine. Nobody talks about Gaza.
Okay.
No, everybody talks about Gaza.
That's not correct.
People do talk about it.
That's not for Gaza right now. Okay.
When Biden was sitting up there bumping all them kids in Gaza, nobody called Biden out. Nobody said nothing. Nobody was emotional about that.
What about the protests that happened across in the US?
Protests ain't doing nothing. Protests ain't doing nothing. It's just a bunch of propaganda.
Don't say that people are not emotional about it, right? People have been saying, here we are discussing about Ukraine and Russia, not Gaza and Israel.
Let's not go to Gaza today. We won't leave here.
Yeah,
Some of us are
Gaza's own is too
Israelis,
much, please.
Some
Hey,
of us are Israelis, though.
hey, Ayo,
Some of us are
quick
Israelis, though.
question. Quick question.
Let's
You know,
be
I want to say something.
let's
I
talk.
want to say something. though.
Wait, please. Ayo, do you feel that Zelensky is making such a big mistake that America will now cozy up to Russia than we actually expected because of all this? Ayo, that's for you. FBO.
Yeah, okay. I want to say this, but sorry, I need to jump out. Thanks. Quick one. I mean,
yeah,
just on Ukraine, you were just to round up my thoughts, and also the Cold War. One.
I send what I on my WhatsApp.
I don't know if you heard.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know if you heard.
On my
I don't know if you heard. Hello.
Go ahead.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard Senator Lindsey, who is a staunch supporter of Ukraine. He said that he spoke to Zelensky in the morning before he went to the White House and told him, "Guy, calm down, just make this happen and you're good." And he told him, but the guy got there and messed it up. I mean, that's by the side. I think you asked the question that what will happen? Ukraine will still sign the deal.
No. That's not my question. My question is, okay, do you feel like we are now cozying up to Russia because of some of the carelessness Zelensky is putting himself into? Because now
I'm sure that will happen. But you see, the truth of the matter is that for America, Russia is strategic. They don't want, as I said earlier, they want to decouple Russia and China as much as possible. If America is doing business with Russia, if America is doing business with Russia, right, they will at least, the kind of relationship we're seeing now between Russia and China would not be as intense as this. Excuse the word, So yeah, I think it's going to happen. But all said and done, I still feel that Ukraine deal will be signed. There's going to be a peace. Ukraine's going to lose land.
That will be signed? You feel that will be signed?
Yeah, I think so. No, it will sign. It will sign. He's going to come back.
Mineral?
He has no choice. He has no choice. I mean, the truth of the matter is that he has no choice. He's still going to come back and sign it. He needs America. Europe cannot save him. Europe cannot save him. I mean, you heard the banter Trump had with the Prime Minister of the UK. I don't know if you remember when they asked him, "Can you guys take Russia by yourself?"
Oh no!
It was a quick look. Can you guys take it?
Yeah,
they can't.
Okay.
They can't.
Okay.
So that's my opinion. Guys, sorry, quick one. Bye-bye. Thank you, guys. Great being here with you guys.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, bye-bye.
So Yemi, you see all of Europe cozying up to Zelensky, the name that, they don't like what Trump says, they're cozying up to him. Now, some of them are saying they're going to put boots in the ground. How do you see this thing playing out, bro? Because are they trying to separate America? What's up?
Well, from the get-go, from the previous administration, the whole thing is if they feel they want to put boots on ground, wonderful. That's their right. If they want to go on with the war, which I'm against innocent lives, being killed. And when I say all these things, man, let me just give you a human aspect. My cousin, when this war started, he was studying in Ukraine. So when I'm not saying all these things, out of this thing. He, just by God's grace, he left Ukraine on February 14th. When was this again? A few years ago, whenever the war
2022? Yeah.
So he barely left. He barely left. And this is what his sister said, that even till today, he's not 100% because of, things he has seen, so he was one of the lucky ones that escaped before, the more crazy things started happening, because everybody was trying to get out of there. But besides that fact, the whole thing, from what I saw yesterday, is I know the negotiation Trump is trying to do. People have emotions and all this. Most of us don't want to go to fight for that war. Me, I don't want to go fight for that war, even though I'm past the age to fight for the war. But the thing is that for a negotiation, just like Trump said, by him bashing Russia, we can bash Russia from here to tomorrow. This is what the past administration did. See all these tough words, but no action behind them. You know, so you can bash Russia from today to tomorrow.
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything.
Okay.
If America is sincere about a ceasefire and peace, America has to go into that negotiation as a neutral party. As a neutral party.
Well,
as crazy as that may sound, but America can't be like, you know, inching up to one side or the other side. Regardless of what we say, America, like one of the brothers said today, the communication has been going over and over. Remember when Trump first came into office, they kicked out some Russian diplomats. They always been doing these games back and forth. They spy on each other back and forth. So there's always communication back and forth. They always call each other back and forth.
Let me ask you, did you see the deal that they're trying to bring forth for Ukraine to sign? Are you in favor of that deal, though?
I've heard some aspects of it. I've not read it.
It's nasty because they have to give up some land. Right?
Well, the truth about this, they
can't join NATO. They cannot join NATO.
The Ukraine was never going to join NATO. If they are going to join NATO, Europe could have. How many years ago since this war started?
Well, they said it's a process. Remember?
How many years? But they can fast track it now. So people listen to words. I think they submitted an application long ago.
Yeah.
What's holding it up? It will never happen because that happening. That's World War III. Mark my word, me saying right here, Ukraine will never be part of NATO. All these things have been happening since 2014. So people are just new to this game. There's a professor that gave, you know, in Chicago, gave this whole speech about this thing. Thank God you can see timestamps from 2014. So it's anything new that you could say it was a video from today. That said everything about that when even it goes back to Bill Clinton, they gave assurances, but nothing was signed about NATO not encroaching into Russian, close to their neighborhood and all that, which, they never, but I don't want to discuss all that, but they never upholded that agreement. So Ukraine is the final. Ukraine will never be part of NATO. That's just the fact. Because if the Europeans were going to do it, it would have happened a long time ago. Why didn't they fast track it? How many years to fast track something?
Well, okay, giving up that land. Come on, man.
The land is you have to live in the land of reality. Those lands have never been part of Ukraine since past 2014. They were never part of Ukraine.
Yeah, well,
they're already a separatist region, Lombarska and Lumain or whatever. Crimea. Crimea, those places have not been part of Ukraine for the longest. And when the Russian troops went in there, America didn't do anything.
Correct.
Europe didn't do anything.
Correct.
Ukraine didn't do anything. Those people in those areas speak Russian.
Yeah.
So those lands are already gone, just to be honest with you. Those lands are already gone. Even when they fought, they couldn't even win those lands back.
Well,
So people want to leave. They say they're giving up this, giving up that. It's not theirs already. It's already gone. So if they wanna, that's why I'm saying all this. The deal that was supposed to be signed, I'm thinking, let's say 3-4 years ago, is what is going to be signed eventually. All these lives that were gone, generation of Ukrainian men have gone for what? Nothing. You don't have to agree with Trump. You don't have to agree with Biden. But this is a fact. This war should have been prevented. It should have never happened because the borders are going to be the same thing after this war. It's going to be the same thing. And like we said, this guy might not be president, at the end of this war.
But okay, so but you're setting up a very dangerous precedent. What do I mean by that? If Zelensky were to resign, where he said he was going to resign, right? He doesn't mind. Let the terms be that Russia.
He's not going to resign. He's not going to resign. You might get kicked out of office. That's
Okay. So what I'm saying is, let him resign. If he resigns, you are going to see what's going to happen to the rest of the westernized world. There's going because what's his name? Putin is going to try to take advantage of these people. Okay, and now if he could colonize Ukraine, because I feel this is me. Okay, I feel he wants to colonize Ukraine, take over the whole place, then use the army to fight other wars, right?
If
Now, the other guy called Hitler back in the days did the same thing, but he had money. Russia doesn't have that kind of money. I'm not saying it's Hitler,
it's
but
two different things, and it's two different things. Though we always everybody like to say World War II, and you know all that precedent. If they wanted to fight that war, if you notice, Russia is even doing a strategic war, because if they wanted to do this thing, they stopped at the area where those separatist regions are. You know, they initially.
But you and I know they didn't jump in because you know that will activate the fight or what is it called?
Ukraine is not part of NATO. It wouldn't.
I know.
Kiev was attacked. Everybody was attacked. Odessa, everyone was attacked in Ukraine. That was in the beginning of the war. So this war was done, like you said, whatever. I'm just saying we don't have to believe Putin or whatever, because when you one thing is that we have to be grounded in actuality. What has actually happened? That this is not a war to capture all of Ukraine. The separatist region, which is already gone, which is never going to be part of Ukraine again, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, it's never going to be part of Ukraine again. Crimea is never going to be part of Ukraine.
All right, so let me hear IB. Are you there? What are your thoughts? And IB, you're on mute.
Oh yes, I'm just listening. I'm listening.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess let me talk to Mr. Sylvester before I talk to Patrick. So, at the end of the day, what are your thoughts in what eventually happens to Ukraine? Because to me, this is a distraction. My fear is what's happening in China and how China is getting very strong. Okay, Sylvester, what's your take? What finally happened?
I think, and I don't want to belittle anyone here, so let no one feel belittled by what I'm going to say. These are just my own opinions and how I think.
Yeah.
We are being very emotional in our contributions here, and we are trying to look at this war as a war of ideology and a war of policy and stuff like that. The moment we get our heads out of that sand and face the fact that all wars are about resources, war is business. So saying that this war would have been prevented misses the fact of addressing the question, why do wars occur? Right from the days Rothschild started funding wars in the 19th century, why do wars occur in modern day dispensation? And the moment you know that war is business, then it becomes hard to convince me that there's a war that could have been prevented, right? Somebody's following their own business strategy. How do you prevent somebody from their strategy to make their money or to do their business? Okay, that's just a thought that we should leave out there. But when it comes to how Ukraine moves forward from here, I think that will depend on not even what is good for Ukrainians, but it will depend on what the leaders want. But the two key determinants who will determine what happens to Ukraine and how Ukraine moves forward, if not Zelensky is not even one of them. This thing is going to be determined by Trump and Putin, and their other allies. Because if Putin was strongly loyal to the BRICS, right, then Putin would do a grandstanding against America and have this thing go in a way that he doesn't agree with America. But remember, Putin and Trump are very good deal makers. They'll make a deal. But if Putin could be loyal to the BRICS, do a grandstanding, push America out, have China's muscle finance whatever happens in Ukraine, have Indian technology and all those things supporting Ukraine with manpower and everything. And at the end of the day, that is how Russia and China would have succeeded in pushing Western influence out of Ukrainian minerals. Do I say it's not a possibility? Who knows the back deals that are going on?
Who knows? Yeah,
who knows?
Because Ukraine could make another deal. Let's not forget that. And I know you know this truth. They could still make another deal. You see how everybody circling on them. Go ahead.
Yes, and to my brother Yemi, I would just request you one thing that you should reevaluate or reconsider, not you to change your position, but there's a word you use so many times, and I said, wow, Churchill used it so many times, and it really made him take it back. Never, never, never. Even this part you're saying he'll never be part of Ukraine again, you don't know the future. Churchill said, I didn't come here to watch Her Majesty's empire, to watch sun set on Her Majesty's empire. The sun will never set on Her Majesty's empire. And during Churchill's lifetime, he saw the clamor of the dismantling of all those colonial systems that Her Majesty had. So never is a long time.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, well,
Well, if I'm addressed, I guess I have to defend myself. I'm just saying, you know, it is just reality. It's not, the clock is not going to turn back. The time for this to have happened would have happened long ago. So, you know, I can sit down here and say I want world peace. There will never be any war. I'll be lying to myself.
yeah.
So what I'm saying is that if there was a time for Ukraine to attack and collect those places back, it would happen a long time ago. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of too late now. I think they should do a deal. Quick question. So are you what are you thinking about China and its strength with all this stuff they're displaying, and you know they are doing some good work with trying to devalue the US dollar and try to have all these other countries follow that lead instead of America's lead. Are you still concerned with China? You hear me?
Well, before I leave, I'm just saying we have so many geopolitical, you know, adversaries around the world. So there's going to be a lot of, China has always been an issue.
Yeah.
You know, so we have a lot of problems. The problem in Taiwan. So there are so many places there America has to address. There's even some unknown places right now. Right now, we're looking at, you know, what's going on in Gaza, looking at what's going on in Ukraine. One thing about this world is that some place right now that something might be going on that it's not a big issue right now in the front page. By the end of the year, it could be a big issue.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
you know, so as president, you know, which Obama said many years ago when you know, McCain trying to pull a political stunt. As president, you're gonna be supposed to handle so many things at one time. You know, supposed to be able to walk and chew chewing gum, like they say. So so many things are gonna happen towards, you know, the future.
Yeah.
But China has always been a threat, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that will be another conversation because that's going to be a big one. Hey, Sumi, sorry, do you have something to say before we call it a day?
Okay. What I would like to say is, I mean,
take a deep
I
breath.
always say the Trump administration. I will not say United States because this is not the decision of America. This is the decision of.
Yeah.
Can you hear me well? This is the decision of Trump. So what I would say, Trump is not the almighty here. So I'm so glad that the Europeans are coming together. And I just pray that Ukraine get the help they needed because they really need it at this time. And we've always known Trump to be a negotiator, wanting gains in things that does not even concern him. So I just pray everything goes well. I wish them all the best in Ukraine. And we pray for America that this administration will not leave us in a place that we're going to regret it. And that's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, Sylvester, as we are saying all these things, I really hope this country is not going into recession, but this is going to be another topic we'll have to deal with later on. Guys, does anybody want to say something else before we go? Or can we call it a day?
Yes.
Tosin, go ahead, bro.
Okay. You know, there's this adage in Yoruba that says that whenever you are hearing the beating of the drum, right, constantly, that drum is about to lose its essence, is about to be spoiled. You know, Trump is stepping on different things in different directions, right? By the time those allies ganging up against him, right, American people is going to be at the lost end. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you feel America is really going to be on the lost end? I don't know, man.
Yeah, for example, now, right?
I want the country to succeed. I mean, we cannot be trying to push
we are
America to
coming
the
out
edge.
with
We are all going to be screwed. Yeah.
Tariff war here and there, right? There's no country that can operate in isolation. You need people, you need other countries to succeed as a nation, right? But by time you begin to fight different, that's exactly what Hitler did in Germany. What happened? They crumbled. I pray that US will not. So thank you.
Well, yeah. Anyway, okay. Okay, somebody's trying to join now. Jesus Christ. We're trying to run away from here. Okay, guys, I think that's it. Oga Sylvester, do you want to just take us out? Thank you everyone for joining. Oga Sylvester, over to you.
Okay, Mecca, as we think about the possibility of recession, we always have to hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Everything is a possibility. And I want everybody here to remember, I told you so. When we had this very hot debate about tariffs, man, I spent a few days studying tariffs about 15 years ago. And historically, no country has done better by imposing tariff barriers. What America needs is non-tariff barriers. So that is why eggs that were $7.41 in Costco yesterday were $8.61. That's more than 10% increment.
Yeah,
you can't argue with prices. No, come on. All this nonsense about when the cost of production goes up, prices go up. And whether you like the policy or you don't, we will pay the same price. So let's talk that recession next time. Let's talk inflation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope you learned something. You control your emotions and, see it from another point of view. Okay, guys? Have a good rest of your day. Peace.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Yep. Abibala, thank you, man.
No problem. No problem. Great conversation.
Yeah.